Let me tell you about an interesting phone call I had, and then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending January the 11th, 2023. So I get a call, and we're talking about this person's plan. He lives in a condo. His goal is to upsize to a semi or a detached. And he says to me, I have a decent idea of what my condo's value is right now. And when my condo value goes up by about $50,000, I want to sell and buy a semi or a detached. And I said, great. How long do you think that's going to take for your condo to go up $50,000? And he says, well, I understand the market's coming down right now or staying stable, but I don't mind waiting 1 year, 2 years, 3 years until the market turns around. So I said, perfect. You got no pressure. You got no, I have to absolutely sell. He's in a good situation. He'll sell when it makes sense for him. So I said, so we could monitor when values in your condo building are up from where they are now to where it's about $50,000 more in value. Your equity should be more by then. It all makes sense. You'll have more money. However, do you believe if the market goes up that in general all prices are going up? And he says, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So I said, okay, so if your condo goes up $50,000, the property you're going to buy, the semi or detached, you're moving up to a bigger property, almost for sure it's going to be more expensive, correct? He says, yes. I go, well, if yours goes up $50,000, how would you feel if what you're buying goes up more than that, say $100,000? And I'm just picking numbers. This is not an exact science. I go, what if it goes up $50,000? Because it is valued more. So I never thought of that, he says. I go, you know, it'd be nice if your condo goes up $50,000 and what you're going to move up to goes up only $10,000. That would be great. But chances are, if yours goes up $50,000, but it's a better market and that's why it's gone up, well, what you're buying is probably going to go up more than $50,000. And so you got to take that into consideration. So I threw his plans kind of in a loop. He's thinking, man, I'm waiting to go up $50,000, but it might cost me more on the other end than I expected. Now, I'm not saying this is true in every scenario, but it kind of makes sense. You've got to look at both sides of the equation. I often will talk to people about selling their property, and they're saying they want to buy this, they want to buy that. And then when we look at what they want to buy in the neighborhood they want to buy, for the budget they want to buy, they can't find anything that they're going to like within their budget. So we got to relook it and say, whoa, there's no point in selling if you can't buy, unless you're going to rent for a while until things change. I mean, these are all scenarios that need to be discussed. The whole plan needs to be put in place as much as possible for the buying and selling transaction to make sense. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, we've made it really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule is organized. We could talk about whatever's on your mind. So, York Region. Average sold prices are trending down. Listings, volume properties available for sale is trending up. There is a relationship between the volume of listings out there and price. The more choices a buyer has. So if they're looking at your home that's for sale and there's no other choice, you could kind of, in a lot of cases, get the price you want, especially if there's multiple buyers trying to buy the one property. But that's usually, in most cases, not the scenario today. There's few buyers, multiple properties to choose from, so a buyer can basically get sellers competing as to, buy mine, my price is lower, my price is lower. That's the property they buy. And now that sets the new benchmark for the neighborhood. So that's normally has a trending down effect on prices, not usually trending up. That's the scenario in today. Prices are trending down, more listings, more choices. Let me show you in the numbers here. We're going to start off with Vaughan. We got detached properties broken down by week for a whole year. Week ending January 11th, 12 detached properties were sold, which is up from last week, and we expect sales to be increasing as we go week to week for the next little while now, and we expect listings to also be increasing. Let me show you. So 12 detached properties were sold, up from 7 the previous week. 3 properties of the 12 sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price came down from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,748,000. 1,748 is 14% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Now the median price is $1,575,000. That's 23% lower than where the average, where the median price was a year ago. 12 sales, 17% sold at list price or more, so that's not a lot. A year ago, 61% were selling at list price or more. Here's listings. Let's go back 3 weeks. We went from 6 listings a week to 18 listings a week to 43 listings a week. This year, the active listings for week ending January the 11th is 176. By active listings, what I mean is during the course of a week, properties get listed and some get sold in the same week. Some get terminated where they cancel the listings, they come off the market, and some were listed weeks ago but actually get sold during the week. And some get listed and never sell. Active listings, what I mean by that is midnight, January the 11th, so the end of the period that we're looking at, how many are still actually available for sale? Active listings. Well, for January 11th, it's 176. And the relationship between active listings and demand, which in this case, I'm going to go back, we're talking about sales, 12. If we're buying or selling 12 in a week, and we've got 176 active listings available for sale, that gives us a months of inventory of 3.4 months of inventory. So if we continue to buy 12 a week or sell 12 a week, we'll be sold out in 3.4 months. And that is the relationship of supply and demand. That's the effect of low sales, more listings, properties will sit out there longer. Here is Richmond Hill. 4, that's it. 4 detached properties were sold. Look, folks, when sales are this low, it's really hard to take these numbers as being a true representation of what the market in Richmond Hill or any other market is. But I'm still showing you the numbers. So 4 were sold. None of those were at $2 million or more. It seems like it's almost the opposite of the previous week. 4 sold, 2 sold at $2 million. The previous week, average sold price was way up. Now, 4 sold, but no property sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price is now sitting at $1,523,000, which is 17% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,580,000 is 5% lower than the previous year's median price. 4 were sold. 1 of those was at list price or more. 28 listings, which is up from 6 from the previous week. We have 107 active listings. But, it doesn't sound like a lot, 107. Well, it wouldn't sound a lot if we're selling 30 or 40 a week. But we sold 4. So months of inventory shoots way up, sitting at 6.2 months of inventory. Here's Markham. 13 detached properties were sold. None were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $1,559,000, which is way down from the previous week. Let me show you though, the average sold price of $1,159,000 is 24% lower than the previous year's average sold price. The median price of $1,510,000 is 12% lower than the previous year's median price. Of the 13 that were sold, 62% sold at list price or more. Listings have gone up. We went from 7 to 15 to 31 for week ending January the 11th, and active listings is 134 active listings. Months of inventory, because sales went up, active listings is where it is. We go from where we were the previous week, which was crazy. We're now down to 2.4, which also seems a little bit on the low side based on where we were kind of heading into the holiday season. Here's condos. This is for all of York region. 18 condos were sold. None of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $664,000. $664 is 17% lower than the previous year's average sold price. The median price of $644 is 16% lower than the previous year's median price. Of the 18 were sold, well, the previous week we sold 8. We've gone up to 18. 17% sold at list price or more. Listings have been going up. We went from 15 to 32 to 81 listings. So listings, we're seeing the climb. Active listings sitting at 355. Months of inventory sitting at 4.6, very much a balanced market for condos. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. Sales are starting to pick up. More so, listings are starting to pick up. The balance between properties available for sale and how many are actually being sold is going to determine how long properties sit on the market. It's going to determine the direction that prices are going. It's going to determine all sorts of things out there, and it'll determine the kind of strategy you should be using if you're looking to sell and you're looking to buy. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.